Greetings. Thanks for taking a look at my video today. I'd like to talk to you about downloading Ubuntu and burning it, or rather creating a USB drive that you could use to either boot a machine from or use it to install on other machines. One of the handy things about doing this, of course, is that by installing it or by making it bootable from a USB drive, is that you can use this very quickly and easily. It's very portable. It's, in a lot of ways smaller and more convenient than a CD, as well as updating it is very simple as well. For a lot of people, once you burn a CD, that's it. You've burnt the CD. You can't really change data on it. And for many of us, we like that feature. It's not a bad thing. But for something that you may only use once or twice and then effectively throw away, a lot of people consider this a waste. So putting it on a USB drive makes it very economical, convenient, and renewable, if you will, or reusable, is I guess a better way to put it. So the first thing we have to do is download a copy of Ubuntu for this purpose. Now, because we're going to put it on a USB drive, I recommend that you get the Ubuntu Desktop Edition and download the 32-bit version. This way it'll be completely compatible with any version of hardware that you currently come across. If you do prefer to want to get a 64-bit version, you can simply switch this to 64-bit and away you go. Once we've chosen we're going to download this, it tells us the name of the file that we've chosen to download. So this tells us Ubuntu 10.10 desktop for i386 architecture, or 32-bit. And it's an ISO file, which is a raw CD image according to this. And here's where we're going to download it from. We're going to save the file. Make sure we click on Save File here, and then click OK. Now it's going to go ahead and download. The download will probably take you about 20 minutes to complete. Once you've got that completed, then we can carry on with the next step of our process, which is, as it asks here, we want to create a USB stick, and we're going to do this on Ubuntu. So click on Show Me How, and it tells us, okay, insert a USB stick with at least 2 GB of free space. So we happen to have tons of 2 GB drives kicking around, and we've installed one on our machine. Then it says, once we've done that, in the main menu, go to System Administration and open Startup Disk Creator. Now, we're going to go ahead and do that, but in some cases you may actually want to wait a little bit just to make sure that your USB drive is properly mounted when you start the application. So here we go. We've now got the Startup Disk Creator tool running, and the first thing it says for us to do this is it needs to be set up as a startup disk. So we're going to find a source image, which we just downloaded, and we're going to go ahead and find our desktop that we just downloaded, which is right there. There we go. Now that image has been selected. Now you might have downloaded it to your desktop or into Documents or wherever, so which is fine. And then of course we have the disk that we're going to use, which right now shows a Kingston. Shows us a 1.9 gigahertz capacity, which is, or sorry, gigabytes capacity, which is fine. And the partition that we've got a file system currently installed on, as you can indicate that there's only 1.2 gigabytes of free space. So to free this up, we're going to click on Erase Disk, and we're going to erase the entire disk. And there we go. Now we have a regular device again. So once we've done this, now we select the file system, and it now gives us the option of when we install to store to have some space stored in reserve space, and we can select well up to 1.2 gigabytes if we want to. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and click on Discard and Shut Down unless we save them elsewhere. And I highly recommend you do that. This way, this disk never has to be modified or touched in any way. It's always going to be 100%, and any changes you make will be done on and saved onto a separate unit, which you can, makes things more portable, more easy, less problematic in the future, that type of thing. So there we go. So now we're going to click on this, and this whole process here will take about probably close to about 10 minutes. At least it did for us. And away we go. So one of the things we should have done when we downloaded this version of Ubuntu earlier is actually check to make sure that the version that we downloaded was in fact a good download. To do this, what we want to do is we could go into here and search for MD5 search, or sorry, MD5 sum, and search for that, and that'll come up across this particular page here, which I've scrolled down to. There we go, we're at the top of it now. Excuse me. Which is how to MD5 sum. And this tells us the process involved on Linux, or you could be also on, if we get down here long enough, Mac OS X and even Windows. How to do this, perform this operation. It's fairly simple. This goes into a lot of detail on Linux, obviously, as you could figure out. You know, for instance, if you want to create an automated process out of this, whatever. But the check is very, very basic itself, which is basically these 3 steps here. That's all you need. Now, when you generate an MD5 sum, what you're going to do in this particular command here, it's going to present you a result that looks like this. Now, this number here, unfortunately, for most of us, we don't know what that's supposed to mean. But what we would need to do is we need to take that number and compare it to what we find from Canonical with regards to the hashes that Ubuntu ISOs already have. So if we click on this link, that'll take us to this page, and it'll show us Ubuntu hashes. And here we've highlighted the version that we currently have. So we want to make sure that this number here, that starts 59D15A, matches the number that we've generated. Now, if this was a legitimate response to one we've done, we would have to say that this is a failure and the copy that we've downloaded is no good because it does not match. In which case, we'd go ahead, go back to the download page, download a new copy of it, and hope we don't get an error this time or a problem that results in a failure. If it comes back identical, we know the version we downloaded is proper, it's 100%, we're good to go to the next step, which of course is making your disk. Anyways, that's really all there is to this. Once this process of installing is done, like I say, it takes about 10 minutes, it will be complete. You will then be able to take that disk, boot any machine that will boot from a USB drive, as well as use it as a live CD or use it as an installer. The choice is up to you. Hope you have a great time. I hope this tutorial or walkthrough has been of value and that you've learned something and that it's been helpful. If not, or if you have any questions, please let me know below in your comments. Thank you very much.